Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everything Liberia. In this episode, I'm gonna go over the first part of the slab phase of this project. If for some of you that do not understand what a slab is, a slab is basically creating another foundation above the first floor. So in order for you to construct the the second two unit above the first floor, above the ground floor. So I'm gonna go over the cost of the quantity of the material we used and the price per unit of the material we used. I'm not gonna give you a total because you can go out there and negotiate on your own behalf and you might get cheaper price, but I'm just gonna give you like a baseline of how much things cost, and you can at least have a understanding of what you should be paying or you shouldn't be paying. So to start off, I'm going to talk about the Wawa. We purchased a total of 200 pieces of Wawa, and it was $1,000 per Wawa, and that price can be negotiated as well. And we purchased a total of 400 pieces of round pole. These are the round poles. They're used to balance the load from the ones whenever they build the form. We purchased a total of 400 pieces, and there was 140 Liberian dollars for one. And we also purchased a total of 80 pieces of 2x2. Those 2x2, we bought one for 700 Liberian dollars. So the prices of things is going up, and I remember when I just started building, a 2x2 used to be 250, 280. Even by 2 years ago, it was 300 to 500. Now it's in the 700 range. You can always negotiate, and especially if you're buying a huge quantity, they will lower the price for you. But as you can see, we only purchased 80 pieces, so it was very difficult negotiating the price. But we purchased 80 pieces, and we purchased three different boxes of steel nail. It was the 4-inch nail, the 3-inch nail, and the 2-inch nail. That was all used for this project and for this face. As you can see, the round pole has been installed. They're already working to build a form. So this part of the project lasted approximately a week and a half, just building the form. Took that time frame, a week and a half. So if you have a contractor that have manpower, they can do it at a very fast pace. But you also got to realize right now, around this time of the year in Liberia is a rainy season. So whenever it rains, it slows down the process of doing the work. So it took them a week and a half to complete. So as you can see, this is why it's called a decking. They create a form, they put the Wawa down to create a deck. And that deck, they would lay hundreds of steel rod above it, and then they will run the electrical PVC piping and the plumbing piping, and that would be basically the foundation for the next two units. So whenever you're building upstairs houses, you have to do the plumbing and the wiring, at least the tubing for the wiring, whenever you're doing the decking, instead of you not doing it now and then later they have to crack the concrete to put those things in there. So Once the next phase, I'm gonna show you guys a video of them doing all that. All right, so as you can see, we bought a total of 175 pieces of 5/8 steel rod. These are the big steel rod that will be used. They are gonna plot it, and they're gonna create a form that will be placed over the deck. There's a lot of steel that is being used. That is to create a very solid decking, so it can bear the weight of whatever structure that will be laid on top of it. So this is where we are in the project. We're moving pretty fast. We're hitting our timeline to get this project done on a timely manner, at least to get the building, the actual structure complete before the year ends. So we're on a good track to get that done. It's not easy doing this. It's difficult. It requires a lot of money. It requires a lot of involvement. It requires a lot of planning. It requires a lot of trust. You need to find somebody that you can trust to do your project, or it's not going to be successful. So like I said in my previous video, go out there, do your research, do a lot of background check, ask people who have been doing it for years, and get your project going. Do not just send money to anyone or family member or friends or some type of relative to do your project without you understanding the process of doing it. Different location will require a different amount of money. Different contractor will charge different amounts. But things like material prices, quantity of material that will be used should be your target. Knowing how much material you need is the most important. Negotiation in contractor price can always change. If you're a good negotiator, you have multiple contractor, you can always, get a good deal, a good price of how much they will charge you to do the work. Another thing, supervision is important. As somebody supervise your work, make sure you're paying that person decent amount of money so they will be motivated to go to your site and do your project, and they won't steal your material money. They will do what you send the money for. So nothing is free, so don't expect anybody in Liberia to do any of your job for free. The same way, if you was to be in the United States or wherever in Europe or in Asia, if you want to get job done, you have to pay people. It's the same way when you're dealing with people in Liberia. You want to get a job done, you have to pay them. If you don't want to pay them, that's when they start stealing. That's when the things you purchase will go missing. So you have to treat them the same way you would treat people in the United States. So to put that, this is where we are. The decking is almost done. We're going to do the plumbing this week and the electrical PVC. And once all that is done, we will cast the building before the end of August. And when that's done, we will let it sit for a month before we start building the next 2 units. Thank you for watching. Comment, subscribe, give your inputs of what you see is going wrong and what you see I can improve. If you have any question, inbox me and I'll reply. Thanks.